Yo, what is up, everyone? My name is Jay Cross from NASCAR on MDK. Welcome back to a breaking news edition of Inside the Lines. We have one story to talk about, but it is a big one. Sorry for there's no TV. That'll be fixed later. But it was first reported by Adam Stern from the Sports Business Journal that NASCAR and ISC has reached a deal in which NASCAR will buy International Speedway Incorporation for $2 billion. A story came out from Market Watch from Tommy Kilgore. Sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. It says, quote, International Speedway Corporation announced Wednesday a deal to be acquired by NASCAR Holdings Incorporated in a deal valued at $2 billion. Under terms of the deal, NASCAR will pay $45 in cash for each International Speedway share outstanding. The deal is expected to close in 2019. International Speedway stock, which is halted for news until 9:50 a.m. Eastern, has gained 0.6 year to date. So yeah, and a statement came out from NASCAR underneath the original Twitter post from Adam Stern, and it says, in quote, NASCAR says in a statement that it is pleased with the progress that the negotiation and execution of the merger agreement between NASCAR and ISC represents. While important regulatory and shareholder approval processes remain, we look forward to the successful final resolution of this matter and continuing our work to grow the sport and deliver great racing experiences for our fans everywhere. With a strong vision for the future, the France family's commitment to NASCAR and the larger motorsports industry has never been greater. Now, this story is huge, mainly because of what has been brought up a bit earlier in the season. First off, we're going to talk about main two reasons as to why NASCAR is buying ISC. The first reason is to possibly sell NASCAR. Now, I know that little last statement said that, the France family is committed to NASCAR and this and that, but, there have been rumblings showing up about NASCAR, or at least the France family wanting to sell. There have been reports of that. I believe the France family, they may have denied it, but when you have all of these rumors swirling around and all those rumblings going on for so long, it's not surprising to see, when you see things like this happening. First off, look what happened back in April. I think it was last year. NASCAR purchased ARCA. Now they're purchasing ISC. They're now acquiring all these things where really, this wouldn't be surprised if they did this maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago. But now all this talk about them trying to sell, and on top of that, them acquiring new things so that when they, let's say, if they do sell it, it can be sold at a higher value. Again, I'm not confirming it. I don't see this as a sign. I don't think NASCAR, the France family, is going to sell NASCAR. I don't see that happening. But it's interesting because I saw a lot of people on social media, they were commenting about this and how, this is another sign that France family wants out of NASCAR. I don't see that, but it is an interesting topic to talk about. Now, the second reason is, of course, to make it easier to switch up the schedule. It's not a surprise. Now, it's not a surprise that the NASCAR schedule is one of the most talked about topics regarding the issues with the sport. The sport, in terms of its Cup Series schedule, is very bland. Too much mile-and-a-half tracks, same schedule year in, year out. 2020, they switch it up a lot, more than I expected, still at the same tracks. 2021 is the first year where basically all tracks are up for grabs. In 2021, Indy can be kicked out of NASCAR. Kentucky can be kicked out of Cup Series schedule. So, and with NASCAR having control over ISC, the company, but with NASCAR now having control over ISC, and it's going to make it a lot easier for NASCAR to sort of control how they want the schedule set up. Because in previous years, before, when they signed this 5-year deal, they had, not only the NASCAR had to make the deal, but the speedway, or at least the track owners, had to agree with it. So let's say, for example, if NASCAR wanted to move Chicagoland to October, they have to, or at least ISC, the people that own Chicagoland, would have to agree with this deal. Now, they don't need to do that. If NASCAR wants to move Chicagoland to November, they can move it to November. Okay, so this is me in editing time. I was editing this when Bob Parker's put out a tweet that talked about a certain paragraph between ISC and the NASCAR merger, and it states that Brian France will be bought out of his shares when the merger goes into effect. In a sentence from this article, or from this paper. It says that prior to the effective time, the members of the France family group, other than Brian France and his affiliated entities, such as members of the France family group, the rollover shareholders will cause to be contributed pursuant to a rollover letter agreement between such shareholders and NASCAR. So yeah, this all but confirms that Brian France is really out of NASCAR. All right, back to real-time me. Currently, ISC owns 11 NASCAR racetracks: Fontana, ISM Raceway, Kansas Speedway, Chicagoland, Talladega, Martinsville, Michigan, Watkins Glen, Richmond Raceway, Darlington, Homestead, and of course Daytona. One thing, Michigan, they possibly could have a race taken out. Watkins Glen could have another race added onto it. Darlington could have another race onto it. I don't know. ISM could have a race taken away. Now, with NASCAR acquiring all these tracks, specifically these 11, this is going to shake up the 2021 schedule tremendously, because now, like I said, you can take out Michigan, a race out of Michigan, and you can throw in Mid-Ohio, or you can take a race out of ISM and throw in Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Now NASCAR, they have that right to do that. They don't need to have ISC's approval of it. They can just do whatever they want now. Now, that being said, this has led to some people saying, oh, this might be bad for the sport, because NASCAR might double down and add even more mile-and-a-half tracks, now that, they own or they can control more of the schedule. But I think this is just overall a great step in the right direction. Do I think someone tweeted out, I forgot who it was, I think it was Darren, tweeted out how this is the step to NASCAR going back into what it used to be? No, we're way too far away from that, but I do think this is a step in the right direction. Hopefully NASCAR can make the right judgments, but NASCAR being NASCAR, I cannot really trust them. But yeah, this is going to be very, very interesting, because now this is going to lead to more speculations on what the 2021 schedule would look like. Now that NASCAR owns the first half of track ownership, ISC and Speedway Motorsports, they're really the only two big major companies that own majority of the NASCAR tracks. There's only 3 that is owned by someone that is not within those 2 corporations. That's Dover National Speedway, Pocono, and Indianapolis. Indy's going to be out of the schedule anyway, so really only 2 tracks that are not owned by ISC or Speedway Motorsports Incorporated. But yeah, to me, what do you guys think of this story? Is this going to be good for NASCAR? What do you think? How will this affect the future of NASCAR? I'd love to hear your comments in the comment section down below. But that is it. Thank you so much for watching another episode of NASCAR on MDK Inside the Lines. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more. But until next time, I'm Jake from NASCAR on MDK, and I'll see you guys in the next video.